Hello, saver. Whether you're saving for that trip to the tropics or saving for an emergency, now is the time to take advantage of Wells Fargo's savings options. Wells Fargo offers savings accounts that can help you save towards your goals. So, what are you saving for? Visit a Wells Fargo branch or wellsfargo.com/save to open a savings account today.
Wells Fargo Bank, N.A., member FDIC.
Hello and welcome to the Fasting Focused Lifestyle. This is Vicky, and this week's episode we're going to get a little bit controversial, but you'll understand once you finish the episode why I'm going to tell you don't work out. I say this with finger quotes, right? Don't work out. I'm going to suggest do this instead. Stay tuned. Welcome to the Fasting Focused Lifestyle podcast, where each week I will be discussing all things fasting and how it can become the most valuable tool in your personal toolkit so that you can live a long, healthy, and meaningful life. I'm your host, Vicky Sharon, and thank you for joining me. So, like I said, working out has very, very commonly just been associated with this mantra that we think we need to obsessively exercise. So working out kind of just goes with what we just assume comes along with the expectation of shedding weight, right? Eat less, move more, right? And why working out and having that mindset that we have to go hard, we have to do these crazy, intense workouts that we typically wouldn't do, that are out of our skill set, that are above our abilities, and that stress us probably more than they really should. It's pretty commonly expected in diet culture across not just the United States, but to a global level. You see the runners, high intensity training. I'm sure you guys have seen videos of powerlifting, and while those are great and maybe have been something that these individuals that you see in these videos have worked up to gradually over years, hopefully, the expectation that we have to go hard when we're having intentions of getting healthy, of bettering our overall health and wellness, especially with weight. It doesn't have to be that hard. It doesn't have to be an overly physically challenging movement that we put forth with our efforts. And again, this is something that's definitely against conventional diet culture standards. And going against that is not always going to be something that is commonly accepted or understood. But the thing that I advocate very, very highly for, and really honestly have advocated for since the beginning, and this is just due to my own personal discovery and what I knew worked for me. But as I continue to read more information, more studies, more advocacy of this lifestyle, what I do, it makes sense to have this kind of approach instead of feeling that we have to go hard, we have to overly physically exert ourselves. So before I get into what I do, the thing I was talking about before with running, high intensity training, lifting, obviously those folks that are doing that, and I'm not dogging you if you enjoy long runs, if you've been doing that for a while, that's great. Everybody's got to find their own groove, right? So these high intensity workouts, while they are great and do have, they have their benefits. I'm not going to dog on that. They absolutely have their benefits. However, there are some things to be aware of that, especially for folks starting out that have the understanding, or at least the misunderstanding rather, that they have to do this and you don't. The overuse with the constant training, the constant running, long distances, the high intensity working out, the powerlifting that maybe you've never done, or it's been a very long time since you last did it. As you know, that can result in injury with that consistent overuse of those muscles and joints. You can get muscle strains, dislocations. You can get fractures, among many other things. And like I said before, while it is, they do have obviously benefits to these physical activities that you can, be a part of. But I think if you have goals long term, it could be something that you could work towards. But that slow, gradual increase that I've advocated for, specifically and related to fasting, is going to be the best bet for you. And that slow, gradual increase of intensity, of time spent working out, is going to help your muscles, help your joints. It's going to prevent you from susceptibility to injury in the future, because obviously once you get injured, it's going to be hard to bounce back to get into that routine if you're already in an established routine. So obviously overuse, injury, we want to avoid that at all cost. But also what you may also realize, but maybe it's not at the forefront of your mind, is that the body physicality, if you are overweight, sometimes even as little as 20 pounds overweight, that very excessive, intense use of those muscles and joints can increase the likelihood of injuries while we're trying to better our overall health. And as I said before, once you get an injury from that physical exercise and activity, that sets you back even further. And I don't want that for you. I know you don't want that for you. So the thing that I have been doing, like I said, from the beginning, is just this mentality of moving naturally. Moving naturally. Okay, Vicky, what does moving naturally mean? Well, moving naturally would be to just find ways to be physically active throughout your day, every single day, to the point where it does not feel like it's exercise. Obviously, the body is designed to move. We know this, right? But also when we are in movement, when we are in motion, I'm sure you've heard of endorphins before, right? So we've got these amazing endorphins that course through our body at the start of movement, right? So releasing endorphins have incredible benefits. I have a great resource I'm going to link in the show notes here if you're interested to read a little bit more. But because I'm an uber nerd and I like knowing as much as I can about different things, I want to tell you a little bit about the benefits of endorphins from myclevelandclinic.org. The easing of the symptoms of depression. We know that when we're up moving, we feel happy, right? That's I keep seeing in my mind this infographic little meme picture of exercise is the most underutilized antidepressant, and it's true. They release during exercise, the body will release endorphins and relieving these symptoms of depression, right? The runner's high for those that are running, or just that happy overall general positive disposition. As we know also, it does have the ability to minimize our stresses and minimize our levels of anxiety. It's also going to help us improve the way that we see ourselves. If we feel good about the way that our body is moving, that's only going to reinforce, it's going to teach your brain, I like this motion. I like this form of activity. Please continue. Please keep it up. Please keep going. It's going to make it more of an enjoyable, now repetitive experience for you so that it doesn't feel like a chore. Obviously, this is also going to be a contributing factor to your weight loss efforts. That's why we're here, right? But it contributes to a bigger picture, really. So the endorphins, like I said, it's going to just make a huge difference with the way that you integrate natural movement and motion into your life. One of my favorite things to do is to just get up, move around, standing while doing certain activities that are typically done seated. I love folding clothes while turning the music on, doing a little dance and having a little dance party. My kids know now that this is just the general standard of being physically active while doing pretty much everything. And as I said, with the elevation of your endorphins, it's going to raise your mood. Your brain's going to learn, hey, this is a good experience. We should do this more often. And it doesn't have to be a chore. It shouldn't be something where you think about it with dread, with anxiety, with, oh, I don't want to go to the gym. Oh, I don't want to do this. The gym is all around you. You live in a gym, right? We live in all spaces. You can do anything from leaning up against your wall if you can't get on the floor to do some planks, right? You can do push-ups along your countertop while you're brushing your teeth, while you're washing your face, while you're doing whatever. And making these experiences enjoyable, the brain is going to light up and you're going to feel great. It's going to reinforce you're more prone to keep with these behaviors when you're enjoying these activities. So make it motion and movements that you enjoy. Don't make it a chore. Please do not make it a chore. Feeling like we have to consistently work out and push ourselves is only feeding into that negative mindset that we previously had about ourselves. Because, right, I'm going to tell you, like, we're good. Like, we're going to restructure, reframe that mindset that you can do this. You can integrate natural movement, motion, activity into your life. It can be enjoyable. It can be a great just complement to the lifestyle that you lead or are planning on revamping, maybe with integrating natural movement into your life. Because the opposite, which is very common in our society, especially with technology these days, the overly sedentary lifestyle, I'm sure you've probably heard it, but the overly sedentary lifestyle, if you're unsure or have not heard, it has the ability to kill you. Obviously not immediately. If you sit down for 5 minutes, it doesn't work like that. But the dose makes the poison. The dose makes the difference. It's either short-term or long-term. And over time, I've seen this firsthand with family that is very hard for me to experience firsthand the overall decline of my grandparents over time with their overly sedentary lifestyle. And while this is something that's common typically with older generations, the muscle atrophy is there. You know, when you're sitting for a long period of time, your brain spins because something's got to move, right? Your body is still utilizing energy. So instead of your body moving, your brain ruminates or spins and has that perpetuating hamster wheel of thoughts, dreads, fears, anxieties, chores, responsibilities, on and so forth. The mood irregularity will spin out of control because of that. It can and has, I speak from experience, feed into those food addictions that treat remedying those feelings of inadequacy of, oh, I can't do this. Oh, I'm so stressed. I had a hard day. Or, oh, my life is a shitstorm right now. We go to the typical vice, as I said from experience. My vice was just numbing the pain and temporary mood feelings with food. Trying to feel better with just eating away what was bothering me at the time. The sedentary lifestyle is going to feed those food addictions. It's going to make it worse. It's going to make it all the more challenging. And the best way to combat that, if you are a Taylor Swift fan, I'm not a Taylor Swift fan, but I know some of the songs. Shake it off, right? Get up, move around. That's the first thing you can do when you catch yourself in a mental tailspin, when you catch yourself feeling like, oh, I want to go to the pantry. I want to go and get something. Get up, walk around. One of the best things you can do is just change your environment. Change where you are. If you can't change the way that your mind is spinning and thoughts are going, change your external, right? If you can't change your internal locus, see about recalibrating, changing the view from your external, right? From your external locus, your hula hoop of control. We've talked about this before. One of my favorite things, and this is an odd little random fun fact about me that relates to this. to combat that negative headspace that creeps up when things get stagnant still. And I feel down on myself sometimes because, yeah, y'all, that still happens. I'm not perfect. Realizing with changing the environment, it can be something as simple, but monstrously effective as rearranging your room. Change the furniture around, whether it's your bedroom, your bathroom, kitchen, living room. If you can recalibrate your space to give a bit of a refresher, it's an incredibly just fresh new perspective on what's already familiar. It can be feeling silly initially, but enjoy it. Obviously with the physical movement of rearranging the furniture, but taking a step back and thinking, yeah, I did this. I feel good about these revamped updates, changes, and all that. It can be really, really influential on your mindset and the way that your day plays out, your week, month, even your years plays out. And again, that habit of finding creative ways to move naturally. Totally underrated. So to wrap it all up, like I said, moving naturally, it's going to help you maintain a longer active lifestyle. It's not going to make it feel like a chore. It's going to make physical activity, honestly, an enjoyable part of your life. Yes, if you're listening to this and thinking, oh, I can't think about moving naturally and just being physically active all the time. Oh, it sounds like, no, make it enjoyable. Restructure those thoughts and attachments to what we assign to physical health. It doesn't have to be it doesn't have to be torture. Don't torture yourself. It should be enjoyable. It should be natural. Don't overexert yourself. Personally highly recommend do body weight resistance, low intensity, and finding ways throughout your regular schedule to just integrate moving when you would typically be sitting. Or maybe you're doing something where you typically would just be standing. Crank the tunes, crank your favorite playlist and really enjoy the experience of being alive. As corny as that sounds, truly, because those are the habits that are going to help you restructure, relearn, and to make this lifestyle a lasting one. If you need supportive coaching on your journey in fasting as a lifestyle tool, I'm here, I care, I can help. Please reach out to me through my website, thefastingfocusedlifestyle.com, and I'd be honored to get you started and answer any questions and give you the support that will get you to your goal. As always, I believe in you, even if you don't. Bye, everybody. The Fasting Focused Lifestyle Podcast. Copyright 2022. The information given within this podcast is not intended or implied to be a substitute for professional medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment. Please consult your doctor before starting any weight loss method. Thank you.
Hello, saver. Whether you're saving for that trip to the tropics or saving for an emergency, now is the time to take advantage of Wells Fargo's savings options. Wells Fargo offers savings accounts that can help you save towards your goals. So, what are you saving for? Visit a Wells Fargo branch or wellsfargo.com/save to open a savings account today.
Wells Fargo Bank, N.A., member FDIC.